Welcome to the podcast. I'm Lizzie,
I'm John.
and this is Harry Potter and the Second Time Reader.
Crushed it. Let's go.
Yay.
Okay, we are on chapters 17, 18, 19, and 20. And we're going to just do a quick summary of chapter 17 and then talk about a few points in it. So, Educational Decree number 24 is chapter 17.
You're going to give a quick summary of 17.
We learn that Hermione has put a jinx on that paper, which we will talk about the ethics of. We also learn what Thestrals are. Finally, rather than my spoiler before, which I was so bummed about. Neville or Hedwig comes and delivers a package, but Hedwig is all beaten up, and it looks like she's been stolen or something like that, or abused or something like that. And then we learn a few different things about how long teachers have been there for. Like she's giving analysis of all the teachers, and she's like doing an evaluation of them. And then the chapter ends with Molly Weasley being on duty for something, which we will talk about as well.
Yes.
So, at the beginning of this chapter, it says they're talking about the piece of parchment and asking if anybody snitched on them, because Educational 24 is like they can't have groups, large meeting groups. And Hermione says, no, they can't have done, because I put a jinx on that parchment we all signed, said Hermione grimly. Believe me. If anyone's run off and told Umbridge, we'll know exactly who they are, and they will really regret it. Was it right for Hermione to do that without them knowing?
No. You definitely need to write that in the contract.
Yes.
Before you
Even
sign.
If it's in the fine print, you got to write that down.
Somewhere on the bottom, boils will happen. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's awesome that she just knows all this magic and is like just using it.
Mm-hmm.
Even like in the normal classroom setting, they're just like getting things to come to them, and they're like fixing things way more. They're all using their magic, but Hermione's on a different level, and I feel like that was crazy to just, because they're basically getting hurt. Like, you have to go to the hospital wing to get fixed. That's not. I don't like that.
Yeah, she's a little bit maniacal in this whole chapter with why she's actually doing this kind of stuff. It's a little bit intense that she's actually cursing this parchment. So anybody who tattles, we'll see what happens.
And also, she invited everyone.
Yeah.
So have a little more faith.
Yeah, seriously, I know.
Your own judgment.
You're the one that did the recruitment, Hermione. Come on. Let's go. Pick it up.
It's crazy.
We actually don't know what Thestrals are in this chapter, but it looks like they say something attacked Hedwig, which they think is a Thestral. And they also say that Hagrid has very good control of the Hogwarts Thestrals. They're very well trained to not touch owls.
Yeah, that comes like the Thestrals are later. They're in 20 or 21.
Yeah, I think so. We'll get there.
It's just great that you spoiled it so early.
They're so cool, though. I can't help but spoiling them. I love them.
Hedwig was definitely intercepted, though.
Okay. Why and by who?
By the Ministry.
Okay.
Because they are the law. And why? I don't know. I guess they know it's Harry's owl.
All right.
Because his is like, isn't she white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very so abnormal owl.
Yeah. I don't know though, because the whole thing with Filch and the dung bombs, like that confused me, and I didn't bother to try to get unconfused. I was just like, it is what it is. I'm like, keep reading. But I feel like not everything's getting intercepted, but they definitely are keeping tabs on Harry, and I feel like it just makes sense. Because where was she? Had to have been coming from Grimmauld Place.
Okay.
Because it was serious, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Or he could have done it and been a dog and been anywhere.
Yeah, I guess.
Because that's when McGonagall's questioning him, and he's like, "Oh, London, you know." And then she was like, "Okay, I got you."
Yeah.
But yeah, they must be like keeping tabs on that. Because if Grimmauld Place is like, and then it just goes away, I feel like they can still just see what's coming and going.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. If they're just like hanging outside, someone lets an owl go, you're like, oh, let me get that real quick and then check it. Yeah, poor Hedwig though. I love Hedwig, and being intercepted would suck. Yeah.
McGonagall's like the only person that I really trust perfectly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never doubted McGonagall ever. And I just feel like she's a little mean, but I picture her very different from how she's portrayed in the movies, I think. So I really like her, and I have like perfect faith in her and the utmost trust. Like I would die for her. Or she could tell me to die and I'd be like, okay, I'll like jump off this cliff because you said it was what we need to do. But she's never failed.
Yeah.
She's like right there. She's perfect, the perfect amount, I think, of like Harry can trust her and he knows that she's in the order, they're friends, whatever. But then she's also super strict and doesn't show him any favoritism.
Yeah.
But I feel like deep down he knows that he can go to her. And I don't know. I hope that plays out more because she's probably like one of my favorites. But yeah, she's the only person that I actually like trust in this.
Okay.
Everyone else I feel like will fail at some point.
She is very steady. That's definitely for sure. She is like, yeah. She is very, very steady through this whole thing. Can you rank? Do me 2 rankings. What is like your top 3 of who you think are most powerful witches or wizards?
Like in Hogwarts?
Yeah, let's just do in Hogwarts. Yeah.
Dumbledore.
Okay.
Snape.
Interesting.
And Mad Eye.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. You wouldn't put McGonagall there? I feel like McGonagall.
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking. But Mad Eye has the whole eye thing going on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's got a lot of advantage.
So that's just like one more thing that McGonagall doesn't have.
Who do you think? Who are the top 3 students in Hogwarts right now?
Like grades?
Yeah. Who's the best students?
I mean, you always say that Malfoy is like really smart.
I think he's really smart. That's my own headcanon though. That's just what I think.
Okay. Well, I'll just go with that. I trust. Harry? No, not Harry.
Harry sucks.
Hermione.
Yeah.
Luna.
Ooh, I like that answer.
And I feel like I should pick a boy.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to balance the skills.
Hermione, Luna, maybe Ginny, but I don't know. They never talk about her grades.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Someone from the Quidditch, maybe Alicia.
Ooh, yeah,
She
Alicia said it.
seems
we
pretty smart. No, she actually makes terrible. I hate her as a coach. Like, she's not a good coach.
You mean captain?
Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Why?
the same thing.
Yeah.
She's just bad. We can talk about it when we get there.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Hermione and Luna are the only ones that really stand out to me as like actually intelligent.
Yeah, good students.
I think Neville's the one that's good at herbology, right?
Yeah.
But that to me is like,
It's his
you're good at
only
one
subject.
thing. That's not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
Maybe I'll just throw Malfoy back in there.
Respect. Chapter 18 is Dumbledore's army, which is when we kind of obviously get Dumbledore's army and them fighting. It's like their first meeting, which is great. Yeah, they talk about the weapon a little bit, but I don't want to. We can get back into that. I don't want to get into that much. But at the beginning of this, Harry's scar hurts during Quidditch, and he guesses that Voldemort is angry. Why is Voldemort angry?
Who knows? I don't know. I just I'm not the one to theorize about all this stuff. I just read it and we'll figure it out soon enough.
All right.
I don't know, like anything could be happening.
Yeah, for sure.
There's literally endless things that I could think of.
Yeah.
Of just like random stuff.
Random stuff that I could be mad about. Yeah.
Is it like something I should know? Like maybe, I don't know, the Order's doing something and like they made progress and Voldemort took a little hit.
Maybe he stubbed his toe really bad.
Yeah,
no?
like it could be something dumb. I don't know. Why? What do you think he's feeling?
You can't ask me those questions.
Yes, I can.
What do you think about the room of requirement?
You gotta answer my question.
No, I'm not gonna answer your question about why I think he's
Yes.
angry.
Just make something up.
I think he's angry because he can't perfect a spell.
Okay. Sure. What did you say? The room of requirement?
Yeah, what do you think about the room of requirement?
I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
If someone's already in the room of requirement, can you go in there too? Or is it like only one use?
It seems like one use at a time. Like if you wanted to transform into something else, everyone has to come out of the room of requirement, and then you can get it to do what you need it to do. Why?
I'm just wondering. I'm like looking at this line from 17. Wait, let's go back.
Okay.
Sirius says this. Last year, all the evidence was that someone inside Hogwarts was trying to kill you, Harry. Sirius impatiently. This year, we know that there's someone outside Hogwarts who'd like to kill us all. So I think learning to defend yourself properly is a very good idea. That's like such a good line.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it really is. It's like it's a great point too. What Umbridge is doing with, like, I like what you said before in the previous podcast with her theory might be right, but her execution is just terrible. Like there needs to be some kind of like government. If it's a public institution, there needs to be some kind of government involvement in like the regulation of what the students are learning. But this is like they're not learning anything. They're not learning defensive magic, so you have to do it yourself.
Is it even a public institution though?
Yeah, not really. I mean, kind of. It's like Wizards public institution.
But I thought the whole point was that the Ministry was like encroaching on Dumbledore's territory because it's like Dumbledore's school.
Yeah, I mean it's Dumbledore's school that's why it's like they've given the headmasters the ability and permission to do what they want, but they still have to comply to educational standards of the UK, I guess, or Great Britain.
UK. When Umbridge is like reaching for Sirius in the fire, is she in Hogwarts or is she in Grimmauld Place?
Stop. Is she in Hogwarts or is she not? How does the Floo network work in Hogwarts?
I thought it didn't work. Yeah. I thought Hermione said that early on that like you couldn't do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So then when Sirius came the first time, I thought, okay, Dumbledore obviously knows that he's in here.
Ooh, great. Okay.
But then after this, I think Umbridge is watching the fire and not Dumbledore, or maybe both of them.
Okay.
But the fact that Sirius like looked behind him and was like, "Oh, I gotta go," that made me feel like she was at like Grimmauld Place somehow, or wherever he was. Like maybe he's not at Grimmauld Place.
Okay.
But like she was actually with him somewhere,
like trying to reach and grab his hair.
Like what if he's in the Hogshead fireplace,
and
then she like walks in the door and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go."
Because it's a great question. Because maybe there has to be some kind of proximity to Hogwarts being able to use the Floo network. How is he in Grimmauld Place and he's using the Floo network to get into Gryffindor Tower? There seems like there needs to be some kind of like regulation on that. Because otherwise, her Sirius could just come through no problem.
And why is it just her arm and not like her head? Like she's just like reaching out.
Yeah.
Because I always thought the Floo network was like your whole body was like going through.
Yeah, it was. But this is something this is a one exception that you see where you can, and you saw this in book 4 where someone stuck their head into the fire just to give a message. So you can do that. But like
Amos Diggory.
Yeah, Amos Diggory. Nice. Yeah. Nice.
He had a piece of toast.
yeah. Put it in the tongs and gave him the piece of toast. Yep. But this is like just communication via Floo network, which is different from transportation. So maybe Hogwarts bans transportation, but they don't ban communication via Floo network. I don't know.
Or they ban it and Dumbledore allows Sirius.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great.
That's it.
Yeah. Anytime Sirius, maybe it's just one little chimney that they allow, which is Sirius's chimney that they gave him permission to Gryffindor's tower so they can communicate.
They like built him a specific
Yeah.
thing.
They built him a loophole.
I like that. Dumbledore would do that.
I was going to say Dumbledore is above the
Yeah.
law.
Yeah.
He does what he
sure.
wants.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking about that so much. I was like, where is she or where is he? And like, how are they not at the same place?
It's like she's reaching across in her own fireplace, or is she behind him? That's a good question.
Yeah, because he turned around and was like,
Yeah.
I gotta go. Back to 18.
Yeah. What would you want the room of requirement to change for you?
I feel like it would change to whatever I wanted it to be in the moment.
I know, but what would you want?
I don't know. Maybe, no, I don't know.
Big garden.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I didn't realize it could be like outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside. Or like, I feel like a pool would be nice.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be great.
I don't know. I keep thinking like a closet where I just have like whatever clothes I want.
Just unlimited clothes.
Yeah. Which is funny because I wear the same 10 things over and over.
But it'd be nice to have everything in the arsenal,
Yeah.
you know?
Or like a grocery store, you know, just like
Yeah.
whatever your heart desires.
That'd be great. The ethics of whether it can provide food or not is an interesting question.
Well, the house elves can get in there, so they can just bring me whatever I want.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. You can have like just a secret passage to the kitchens in some way, and like you can get house elves to bring you whatever you want. It'd be great.
That would be great.
Have we seen the room of requirement before?
Yes, Dumbledore needed to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
Is that the only time?
Yeah, there's a niche theory which isn't really true, but I kind of like it, that the Mirror of Erised in book 1 was in the room requirement, but it wasn't. It was really just in an empty classroom, most likely.
Like when Harry found it?
Yeah.
But he came upon it accidentally.
Yeah, but he was circling a long time. He was like walking around, like trying to evade someone, and it's possible that he walked by this room and said, I need a place to hide. I need a place to hide. I need a place to hide, and thought about that. And then all of a sudden came into this room that Dumbledore said, I need a place to hide something. And he put the mirror in this place to hide something. And Harry walked into the same room that Dumbledore accidentally put this thing in there.
Whoa.
That's a shady theory. It's not really the truth. It's probably just normally like an empty classroom, but I like to think it might have been the room requirement.
I thought it was like nothing was there. Like a door appeared.
Yeah, you're poking holes in my theory. So yeah, that's why the theory doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I don't feel like I believe that.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't really believe that much either. I just kind of like it.
Okay, that's interesting.
Do you think that Harry is going to be a good leader of the DA?
I was a little concerned, but I think he is a good leader. I think he can be. He just has to learn how to be a good leader.
Okay.
Which is universal.
Yeah.
But the way he's running it, he kind of just lets everyone do their own thing and then walks around. And once I saw that, I was like, oh, this is fine. Like, he doesn't actually have to like teach a lesson.
Yeah.
He's just like, do this, and then walks around.
Because a lot of it is just practice.
Yeah.
And it's just like collective practice right there.
But I thought he was good. Like, he was being safe and sending them off like in pairs.
Yeah.
Which made me think, does everyone know that he has the Marauders map now? Because it just felt like he was doing it in public, like looking at it.
Yeah.
Which would probably not be great.
Yeah.
I would probably not advertise that. But I think he's doing a good job. I'm very proud of him in this part.
I gotta admit too, I wonder why more students haven't thought about creating something like that. The Marauders were incredible by creating this, but I'm curious why there aren't some other students at Hogwarts right now who are very skilled and gifted at what they do to try to create something like that based on what their imagination is. I guess
it has to be so difficult.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
I would think Fred and George, out of anyone, would be those people.
Yeah, agreed.
But they're just focused on the candy.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're focused on a business right now.
About anything else.
But if they mass produce Marauders map, every student's gonna want one. You know how much they could sell those things for? Like you sell that to the Malfoy family, they're 100% going to take one. You sell it for like 1,000 galleons, and you're just like, good.
I don't think you can put that on the public market legally.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
That's like the government or these social media companies selling our information to these other companies for targeted ads and stuff like that.
You just
That's
accept the
exact same
cookies and you're on the Marauders map.
As soon as you walk into the doors, you're like, do you accept the Marauders map trackers? It'll give you personalized ads. You're like, all right, fine.
Fred and George, do you accept their candy?
Yeah, exactly. You
Now
get free
you're a
candy
Marauder.
for being on the Marauders map.
Yeah.
That would actually be a kind of a smart way to do it. Give everyone in the school some kind of candy. I'm so curious for how the Marauders did that. But maybe if you give like everyone a little piece of candy and they have it, you can have some kind of tracking device that like locates them on this map. But that would only work with the students who eat the candy though. I'm so curious how they did that with everything.
That's why I feel like it's more like sensors around the school. Like there's something that they put in the hallways or something to show where people are.
They use like old school security system.
Yeah, just security cameras. Basically, it's just a tablet. Just watching them.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah, the first DA meeting though was good. It was better than I kind of thought it was going to be. But
there's no Slytherins.
I know.
That's crazy.
What do you think about that?
I'm a little sad as a Slytherin. I think we should be better than that. Could believe Harry. But I also feel like Hermione wouldn't have asked any of us, so
yeah,
she wouldn't have come to our table.
Yeah,
so
which is a little biased of her.
Hermione. I don't know. I feel like there has to be good Slytherins like that would want to do that. It would just be harder for them to keep it a secret from Malfoy and Snape.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, Snape's in the Order, so if Snape found out, I don't think he would do anything.
Yeah. Especially like a good Slytherin. Yeah, we'll talk about this more actually in the 7th book. Good Slytherins, and I feel like they'd be very beneficial. There has to be some Slytherins out there that like aren't aligned to the dark side, that are like, oh yeah, I would love to help, and they're ambitious too, so they're like really on the warpath here, who aren't like, you know, pure blood maniacs. I do wish there was like 1 or 2 Slytherins in the books that were clearly good and that were like part of the DA or something like that.
Yeah. I feel like Slytherins would be good fighters. Like people, if they're on your side, you definitely want them.
Yeah, for sure.
Fight for you.
100%.
I don't think they're all just bad Voldemort lovers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree.
Good. Smart people.
The more important question is, what would you call the group?
I don't know. Dumbledore's army is such a good one.
Yeah, I know.
When Ginny said that, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be able to. I could never think of good team names for anything.
I mean, you had the shots and spells. That was good.
That was good. Yeah, I was surprised it came with that. I gotta think of some alliteration for this. There's nothing. Defense.
Dumbledore's delinquents or
delinquents.
I don't know. It's 2 D's, so.
The Voldemort vanquishers.
I like that. The Voldemort vanquishers. That has a ring to it.
The snake shooters. They can't even shoot anything. I don't know.
That's great. The snake shooters. Imagine that. I feel like
that sounds like a shot at the bar.
Yeah.
That's
you
definitely on the menu.
That's like their main responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. The next chapter is chapter 19, which is the Lion and the Serpent, which is a little bit of Quidditch, which is lovely. I love some Quidditch in this. Do you know anything? Do you remember anything else that happens in this?
Umbridge inspects McGonagall's class.
Yeah.
And Hagrid comes back at the very end.
Yeah.
It's a good chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about some of this other stuff in a bit, but there is a moment at the beginning of this chapter where Hermione says, "Well, the Sorting Hat did seriously consider putting me in Ravenclaw during my sorting," said Hermione brightly, "but it decided on Gryffindor in the end, so does that mean we're using the Galleons?" That's what they say at the end. Should Hermione have been in Ravenclaw?
I thought that was so interesting because I didn't realize the Sorting Hat kind of was confused for more people than Harry.
Yeah.
Because it went back and forth for Harry, but I was like, oh, that's so comforting
Yeah.
to know that it does it for other people too.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's so smart, and in the meeting she does the protein charm for that thing,
Yeah.
and then, like, people are like, oh my gosh, that's like Newt level, and she's like, oh, whatever. Yeah, like
brushing the dust off her shoulders.
She's
like, yeah,
insanely smart.
Yeah.
But I think she just likes to take the back seat anyway. She doesn't like to be in the spotlight.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know. I feel like Ravenclaws are more like braggy about their knowledge.
Yeah, I think so. I think Slytherins definitely are the most braggy about their knowledge, but I feel like Hermione is very like humble, and like she's a Muggleborn, so she doesn't really know her capabilities as a wizard. But when people see this in her, and they're like, oh my gosh, you can do this charm. She's like, oh yeah, I'm like really good. So I like that she's growing in her confidence. I love a good Quidditch chapter.
Wait, this is like why I don't think she's a good coach.
Okay.
What is it? Is she a coach?
Captain?
Whatever.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
I'd have to find it. It's time, said Angelina in a hushed voice, looking at her watch. Come on, everyone. Good luck. That's her motivational speech. She just goes, good luck, and walks away. That's terrible. There's no way. Like, Oliver Wood was hyping people up. He was so enthusiastic about this. Angelina is just like nervous, and she's not. Like, you need to be a hype beast if you're the coach. I need you to believe in me more than I believe in myself, because we're going to go out there and get destroyed. And she's not doing that at all.
Have you seen Ted Lasso?
Mm-mm.
Oh, come on. There's a great line in there where someone goes, they ask the coach, they go, Ted, do you believe in ghosts? And his first response is, well, I don't know, but I think it's more important that ghosts believe in themselves. It's such a good line.
I feel that.
It's kind of true. Okay, so you definitely need someone to like believe in you. This is not a great speech. I will say, she is maybe a good training captain, but a good like game day captain. I think she's just too nervous, so she needs to like work on her getting things under control. But she's Angelina freaking Johnson. She should be a confident like beast right now, and it's weird that it doesn't translate into that.
Yeah. But like, not everyone can be a good leader. That's
agreed.
The thing.
Yeah,
she's good at. I like her thought processes behind who she picks and why she picks them. I think that's good.
Yeah.
But that is a huge part of being a coach, is like your personality.
Yes.
And I just feel like there's probably better. I don't know if there's better people for the job, but I feel like there's better people out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you like her as a coach? Or whatever she's called.
I do, because there's something about I don't know, it's weird. I think there needs to be maybe two captains. One is the player's captain. I think Angelina is the best player on the team right now. And I like the idea that the best player on the team might not be the best leader, but like you just follow that person into battle. So I like that idea, even though she's terrible at speeches. Like, I actually, if she's in the locker room, if she doesn't really give a speech at all, and she's just like, let's do this, and she just walks out having confidence, I'm like, dude, there is nothing. We are not losing this game if our captain doesn't even give us a speech. And she's like, we're going to win this game, guys. Let's go.
I guess that's like reading between the lines of how you interpret her saying that line.
Yeah.
So
I do kind of think that I'm with you though. I think she's saying it out of nerves, and I think she's terrified because I think she's putting a lot of pressure on herself. But at the same time, I think she's in probably the best Quidditch player at Hogwarts right now. And I just wish she had more confidence to just be like, guys, we know what we need to do. I'm not going to give you a speech. Let's just go out there and do it. But I don't think anybody else could be a better captain than her on the team.
Yeah, I feel like I agree.
Like, Oliver wasn't even that good of a captain. At least a speech captain. He was like a nervous wreck.
Yeah, and he did not do well like training the drills and
Yeah,
stuff.
agreed. Yeah.
And the different moves.
He was a great player. He was probably the best player, best keeper in a long time that they've had. But yeah, he needed to work on his speeches as well. I feel like McGonagall could give a unbelievable pregame speech.
Yes.
Like you just have a special guest coming in.
That would be so good.
She hypes everyone up.
She would be like so intense.
Yeah.
She'd just like, get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love the trash talk that happens in this chapter too with sports, with Weasley as our king. That is next level.
I would just gaslight myself into being like, yeah, I am. And then I would just be like, look, they're all cheering for me.
Yeah.
And I would just hype myself up. And then they fight. They get to the fight.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was crazy.
I like that. Where he like lets, is it Fred or George that Harry's holding back?
I think it's Fred.
And then he's just like, didn't know. Like,
oh no, it was George.
He just let go and was like, just hit Malfoy.
Said Harry was not aware of releasing George. All he knew was a second later, both of them were sprinting toward Malfoy. He had completely forgotten that all the teachers were watching. All he wanted to do was cause Malfoy as much pain as possible. With no time to draw out his wand, he merely drew back his fist, clutching the snitch, and sank it as hard as he could into Malfoy's stomach.
Yeah.
And I love that too, that he has a snitch in his hand. He not only beats him in Quidditch, he beats him in a fight right here.
Yeah.
Like
I imagine him like hitting him with the snitch like as a weapon.
Yeah.
Just like the metal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good. And I love that he didn't use his wand too. It's just like
there's something gratifying in a punch.
It's a fist fight. It's a good old fist fight.
This is something that I love this, but this has to be done within reason too. Like I would have been the George in this situation. People like when I played on my high school team, especially when I played in college, I didn't really care that much. But when I played in high school, we had this kid who was one of the best players in the state. He was unbelievable. And I was like one of the top 3 players on the team, and I kind of took it as my job to be like the enforcer on the team. Mm-hmm. So like if any of our players got in a fight, I was the first one to it, and I was protecting any of our players. So like I would hit other players. If someone like hit this kid, Trevor, I would make sure that the kid that hit him, I was coming for that kid. So like if he had the ball, I'm like sprinting toward that kid and he passed it, I'm still just decking him, dropping my shoulder and just decking him.
Nice.
So I'm very much like George in this, but there is a point where like even my brother had to tell me this all the time. He's like, you need to stop doing this stuff and you just need to prove it on the field or on the court. And there's a point to it where I understand because like there's more gratification in winning a game and just being able to like walk back to your opponent and be like, hey, look at the scoreboard. You know, scoreboard is the ultimate form of trash talk. So I like that Fred and George just decked him here, but I'm like, they need to think about the team more and not do this because they're so valuable to the team. Like the 2 people that they pick, they're going to pick in replacement. Like they're not going to pick people who are great to replace Harry and George Weasley.
But they also, that would never be in the cards for their like punishment if Umbridge wasn't here.
Agreed. True. Yeah. I'm kind of with you. But at the same point, Harry, like, I'm a bit bummed that Malfoy didn't also get a punishment. Like, this is very unjust. But Harry still needs to control himself at this point in sports and be able to be like, okay, we won. So nothing that they say can really get at me here. So I like it, but I don't at the same time. There's a situation in basketball going on right now in the NBA that's kind of like this with Draymond Green. He's like getting ejected all over the place. And his teammates are like, he's essentially losing games for them because he gets ejected so early. And they need him on the court. So I'm like, the team needed Harry. And he should have known that Umbridge was there. And so he should have been like, okay, I'm not going to do anything rash because Umbridge is going to just immediately pounce on that and take that as an opportunity to get me out.
True. So. Yeah, because all the teachers were watching.
Yeah, I know.
Harry should have gone to Madam Hooch and said, look, we got permanently banned from Quidditch. You should tell Malfoy, like tell on Malfoy.
Yeah, seriously,
get him out.
Yeah. But no one seems to have power in this, which is why like Umbridge becomes so even more frustrating in this chapter because it doesn't matter what anybody else says. It is Umbridge's law. What she deems like the right action to take is the right action to take, or is the only action to take. So even though there's teachers there saying like, no, what Malfoy said was reprehensible, she's like, nope, Fred and Harry are banned for life. So it does bring a whole different element into Umbridge for like, she has favorites now, which is a little bit more terrifying.
Well, she has this line when she's talking to McGonagall. I contacted the minister at once, and he quite agreed with me that the High Inquisitor has to have the power to strip pupils of privileges, or she, that is to say, I, would have less authority than common teachers. Like, yeah. And you see now, Minerva, don't you, how right I wasn't attempting to stop the Gryffindor team? Like, she just, everything she wants, the minister is going to give her. And that pisses me off.
I know. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. She gets whatever she wants, which is just frustrating.
I'm scared how much worse it could get. Like, I don't want to know.
Yeah, get ready. Anything else in the chapter before we hit Hagrid's tale, which is the last one for this section?
I don't know. That's it. It's good.
Good, perfect. All right, last chapter for this section is Hagrid's tale. Where the heck has Hagrid been all this time?
The mountains.
The mountains.
The caves.
Yeah. Looking for giants to fight the cause.
Yeah. What got me, and I was kind of surprised by, was Hagrid identifies more with the wizards than being a giant.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. Like, he kept saying us and we and our kind, which is like the wizards, in opposition to the giants. And I was like, what? He seems like scared of them too.
He does. Do you... Yeah, that's actually an interesting makeup of Hagrid. Would you... I mean, he's like half and half, right?
Yeah.
What would you classify him more as in your mind?
He's
Hagrid?
neither here nor there. Because he's not a giant.
Yeah.
He's half of a giant. But he's a wizard and his wand got snapped and he's not really allowed to do magic. So he's not really a wizard.
What do you think about the ethics of interspecies breeding?
I guess it depends on the species. Like, I don't know. Yeah, what species are we talking about?
This is a giant and a witch.
Yeah. I mean, I want that for McGonagall and Hagrid, so
that's true. That's very true.
I guess I support.
But that's like that's even a little bit different, because that's
half-breeds.
like he's half and she's just full. This is like a full giantess and a witch or a wizard. I'm curious what that dynamic looked like, because giants are not pictured as like sentient creatures, really.
I was literally gonna Google what sentient meant so I could use it correctly in a sentence, because that was my thing. I was like, it depends how sentient they are, and I was like, wait, do I even know what that means? Yeah, because I feel like if you bred with a who runs Gringotts? What are those? Goblins?
Yeah.
Like, goblins feel a little to me. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. Or like trolls. Don't do it with a troll.
Yeah, you can't do trolls. But that's such an interesting question.
Centaurs, though?
Yeah, I mean, centaurs are probably babes.
Go for centaur. That's my theory about Mad Eye. Can I throw this out there in like the last 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I think Mad Eye, because he can see the signs and like read the signs, is like part centaur and part wizard. But then he's like came out wrong and he didn't have like the hind legs. So he had one horse leg and one human leg. And then they cut off the horse leg and they left his human leg.
Oh,
and
my God.
That's why he can see the stars. Is he's just like a half breed of a centaur and a wizard, and they just amputated his horse leg.
Wow.
That's what I thought.
That is some of the most outrageous
Yeah.
headcanon I've ever encountered.
It's good though. I'm sticking to it.
You gotta like read this with that in mind and just develop this whole theory for how he could
I
be.
have
All
been.
the little hints.
It's been brewing.
You've thought from the minute that you saw him, this guy's a half centaur.
As soon as it mentioned his eye, I was like, centaur. For
Interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
You don't think he just lost these in battle or something like that? That's a cover up for him being a half centaur.
Yeah, because like at that point, the centaurs were the only thing that knew the signs.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you hadn't convinced me about Trelawney yet.
Yeah.
What about Madame Maxime? Can we talk about her?
Okay.
Because I don't know. I have like a hunch that like she beat up Hagrid.
Whoa.
And like
there was some domestic abuse going on?
crazy. Because if all of these giants are so violent, I feel like she's a full giant, right?
Not really a full. She's probably something along the same lines as Hagrid. We don't really know. But Hagrid in the previous book seems to say like, which was it? Your mother or your father?
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about which was the giant and which was the witch or wizard.
Because
Like-
the way he talks about her, she seems like she is kind of violent.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if she just like rejoined her clan and she's gone? And
Maybe.
that's why she was like,
It's a fair theory.
she left so much earlier.
She does seem a bit at least temperamental.
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
Or it's either that or a Death Eater. Those are my two theories. That like he got beat up
Wow.
by a Death Eater.
If only Hagrid needs to be with McGonagall. Come on.
Yeah, she could zap everyone.
You just don't like Maxine because she stole Hagrid
I
from
really
McGonagall.
Yeah, and Hagrid is so trusting of Dumbledore. Like he mentions him so many times. Like Dumbledore said this, Dumbledore did this, and it's just complete and utter trust in him, which is kind of makes me sad. Like I don't know, it's just I don't really trust Hagrid either. I feel like I'm scared that he's not
Interesting.
trustworthy in the end. But yeah, at the end of this chapter, he's content that like he did his best
Yeah.
and nothing really changed and
Yeah.
he didn't really like accomplish anything, and I don't know.
Do you think that he's not telling the full story?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. That's an interesting take. So really you only trust McGonagall.
Yeah. And
What would
so,
he be hiding? What would he be holding back?
something that Dumbledore told him to hold back.
So it's all Dumbledore's fault.
Yeah. But since McGonagall's like the second in command, if Dumbledore gets fired, then Hogwarts is in her control, which would be perfect. That would be so safe.
She would be a good headmaster. I kind of agree with you there. I think she's a bit more of a objective headmaster than maybe Dumbledore is.
Yeah. I don't know. Like Hagrid did his best, but nothing really
Yeah.
was accomplished.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is sad.
So if this isn't really the full story, what do you think is? Do you think the Giants are on Voldemort's side now? What do you think is really going on with the Giants? Like, did Hagrid like accidentally murder a few Giants? Did they like bury them under the under like the mountains
did
or something?
Hagrid go back crazy?
Yeah.
Maybe Hagrid instigated a fight.
Ooh,
I don't know.
but they're a lot bigger than him, so I don't know if he could finish that fight.
That's why I thought Maxine was a full giant, because she protected him.
Yeah. She's I think she's a little bit bigger than Hagrid, but I think she's still half giant.
Yeah, I don't really like her. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, like maybe Hagrid. I feel like you just go back to the old life. Like you're around your old people, old
Yeah.
places,
Yep.
bad things happen. Maybe he just got too involved and something happened, started a fight. Yeah, like maybe it wasn't even just. It was just like personal. But I don't know, like he seemed proud of what he did, and like he's like, I can hang my hat on that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I don't know. Like Dumbledore needs the Giants, I think.
Yeah. They don't have a lot right now. They need
Yeah.
something.
Maybe they should just start a fight and just like kill all of the Giants.
There's a fair question in that was Dumbledore's order, and is Hagrid lying about this? Was Dumbledore's order for Hagrid to bury them under the mountain? And really, he knew the Giants weren't going to be on his side. So he goes and tells Hagrid, he's like, Hagrid, this is going to be your cover story. But really what I need you to do is I need you to go murder all the Giants because they can't be trusted.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind if they all died.
Whoa, a giant genocide? Oh my god.
There's like 70 of them. That's not a lot. Yeah. I had a thought
Okay.
like yesterday that no, I don't have it anymore. It's gone.
No?
But it was a good thought. Just about like their allegiance to the wizards and stuff. Cause I was like, oh, this was my thought. I was like, how premeditated is Voldemort's return? Like, since the dawn of time, has he been like planning and pitting the Giants against wizards?
Okay.
So that when he returns, or like when he's the ultimate power, that the Giants will be on his side and not like the other wizard sides. Like, has he been kind of manipulating this
Okay.
for like years? I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's even playing. Yeah.
Like, how far back does Voldemort begin planning things?
Interesting.
I still don't understand this.
It's a great
timeline.
question. We'll hit that in book 6. Very good question. I will not say any further points on that question, though.
Okay. Is that where it ends?
Yeah, this is where it ends. I think that I actually think your point, though, is really interesting for the Giants, though, because I think the wizarding world has such a strange understanding of beasts and beings. Like your Dementors discussion and your conviction and convincing me of Dementors being legit has changed my whole perspective of Harry Potter, because the classification of beast and being and where that line falls is due for some serious issues. Like in the human world, we have like beings and then everything else is a beast. So there could potentially be issues, but there's not so many issues, because it seems like humans are, I don't know about most sentient. We're maybe not the most intelligent. Maybe we're the most intelligent. Other animals are crazy intelligent, but with this, how they classify, like, okay, like house elves maybe are beings, but centaurs are beasts. Like, where do they get this from?
I don't think centaurs should be beasts.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
And I think giants should probably be.
I think giants are classified as beasts, but why are they classified as beasts and not beings?
They're
Like,
a little
what is the
volatile.
rubric for this?
Like, that's it.
Yeah,
And I don't think just because someone's temperamental, you can classify them as a beast.
agreed. So the wizarding world is gonna make, like, let's say, I don't want to get like weird with this, but let's say like, what is it? Why can't I think of the term? Bestiality. I don't want to get weird into this, but is a witch having a child with a giant considered bestiality in the wizarding world?
No.
Like, I don't think it should be, but it probably is, because I think giants are classified as beast and not being.
But who decides that?
Agreed. So that's the thing. So the ethics of it. But here's the issue with this is that if the ministry is still regulating this weird rubric of things, then people are going to get put in prison for things that they shouldn't be put in prison for, which is, I mean, that never happens. You know?
But whoever makes the list is going to have a bias of some sort.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, fundamentally, your foundation is already messed up.
Yeah, I know.
That's why, like, it all goes back to the wizards being the ultimate, like, creature.
Yeah.
And everything revolves around them, which we don't necessarily believe, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, because that's, like, what you said is, like, who can breed together? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, you just do whatever you want in the wizarding world.
I don't know. There's definitely more animal type of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's There's definitely some weird kinks going on in the wizarding
Like
world.
mermaids, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. 100%. So weird.
Anyway,
Well,
thanks for joining us on our journey. of
Harry
Harry
Potter.
Second time reader.
See ya.
Bye.
Nicely done. Good. What an ending. We end on bestiality.
Hey, it's a big topic
Yeah.
in the wizarding world.
Oh my gosh.